Let's take a look at our 2019 Gatorade Scrimmage. Got 10 clips here, some good, some bad, some ugly, some things that we do really well, a couple things we want to work on, and we'll go from there. You should see at the top what our coverage is. Before every play, you should check to see what the coverage is, whether you're in or somebody else is in, to see how they did. I put this one on there. I really like Jack here on the bottom. I like his catch technique. I like his feet. He's got quick feet from the start. He's eyeing that receiver's inside shoulder, and he uses that hand to catch them and run with them. The one thing I'd say at the very end, Jack, if you're going to turn to look, squeeze into him a little bit more, because I mean you're about a yard away from him at the end, and I've seen those pass plays get completed. Bram, I like your footwork too. You're stepping off, and you're still in a decent position. We just got to make sure that we stay over the top. All right, next play, a couple plays later, clip 28, we've got Teal again. They don't give us 3x1, they go 2x2. Excellent, excellent, excellent play. Coach Clem down here gets pretty pumped up. So this is an excellent example of how, okay, so we check blue, right? 2x2, blue. It's a good example of how blue is man-to-man. It's man-to-man with one unless in there. So Jack is playing this guy. He's got eyes on 2. Jack has eyes on 2. 2 does not come to his zone. So Jack triggers on 1 on the quick slant. By doing that, he gets a finger in there, tips the ball up. Cade tips the ball up. Tommy catches it. We got a pick on the 20-yard line. That is huge, fellas. That flipped the whole field. Awesome, 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 awesome job. Dylan on the top. I mean, we get the same route. This is what I'd like to see you trigger like Jack does there. So Dylan, if we're reading your number 2, maybe yours goes upfield a little faster than, or a little bit more than Jack's number 2, but regardless, we want to drive that number 1. All right, we called a lot of teal. Okay, 2x2 here. Put this one on Dylan on the bottom here. Trust your keys and your read. So if we're all staring at Medic here, number 2 on the bottom of the screen, I would know right now. Now, and if you watch your feet now, I mean, we take about another step or 2. So just trust it. But big picture, looking at what we're trying to do, see how we get a really good sandwich on this. I think Jerry there, the receiver, Dallas is underneath, Brem's over the top. That's exactly what we want. Called teal again, check blue, 2x2. Not a bad play here. I think Dylan loosened up a little bit. It was 2nd and long. I'm okay with that. Okay, but remember in blue corners, if we get a tunnel screen type of thing like this, the way we're playing it right now, we want you to trigger down on that. If Jerry would run a wheel, that would be the safety, either weak safety or free safety. So in this case, corner would be on that tunnel or key one, and Chipman would be on the wheel. If it would be we call it a lock. Opposite of key is a lock. So they fake the key and then they wheel up the sideline. Chip would be on that. All right, got gold coverage here. We got Austin to the top. Austin, lock in on that number one. Okay, remember gold. Okay, gold is like really, really more man than zone. Okay, remember in gold, you are on number one unless he runs a hitch. Period. So when he runs that slant on the top, drive on that slant. Okay, we don't need our eyes in the backfield like looking at your face mask. It's looking like you're looking at the quarterback. Okay, we don't want to do that. And Dylan on the bottom, not bad, but drive right there. Okay, it turns into one of those box drills that we do. Drive downhill instead of just sort of stopping and floating. Brem on the top, good job. 2 goes out. You're gonna rob 1. For the play though, yeah, okay. I'm looking at Shent's alignment. Okay, remind Shent, he's got to scream out to the flats. And then Brem, you're inside of that. Right, we got teal coverage here. 3 to the top, 1 to the bottom. They called the flag on this. I don't know, Jack. I don't know, man. They said you grabbed his jersey. I don't really see it. I don't see anything that we don't already teach. So I am 100% good with this. Only other thing, maybe squeeze. I'm always selfish. I want you to squeeze. Don't allow him to do what he wants to do. He wants to run down the bottom of those numbers. He starts on the bottom of the numbers, and then he ends up finishing on the bottom of the numbers. That's where he wants to go. Squeeze his butt to the sideline, and that pick's going to fall right into your lap. So squeeze him about a yard or 2 off the bottom of the numbers. It's a tough throw for the quarterback. Then, he's not getting what he wants. Okay, we got teal 3 by 1. Okay. Yeah, so on this one, Brim. Okay, this one's a sneaky one. Okay. I think they did last time. You did a good job. Let's go back and look. Yeah. So here, Brim, you stay on 3, even though he goes quote unquote underneath linebacker depth. 3 does. Okay. We get basically the same route again by Gecki, a little bit more pronounced. Okay. We need to stay on that number 3 a little longer, free safety. I know you're trying to react and do all that stuff, but Bellevue West does a good job of stuff like this, to where Bellevue West will cut underneath linebacker depth and then bend back up the seam, or excuse me, up the void in between the 2 safeties. So long story short, when you go over to help Cade, understand that's what it is. It's help. Okay, you need to take care of your job first. And I guess to make it more definitive, if I mean that number three has to be clearly going like on an under route, a shallow route, a dig, or a really short dig underneath. If not, if his hips are still facing um, north and south, let's stay on top of him. Dylan, really good job on the bottom here. Patient, patient. You have your catch hand. It's really good. Teal coverage, 3x1. Put this one in there, Jack. Not bad. Give him a little shove at the end for some reason. I don't know. Stay on until the whistle. I guess maybe you saw the quarterback was already sacked. But the worst thing that could happen is if that quarterback spun out of that sack, and stayed on his feet, and your guy runs down to the end zone. That would be devastating. So just stay on him till the whistle. But I like your center field turn. I'm okay with that. Protect your leverage though. Protect your inside. Got teal called. Check blue. So here's a great reason, fellas, why blue is not very good close to the goal line. Okay, because let's take a look. So right now, here's number one, here's number two. Chip's job, just like the free safety, okay, in blue, if two goes out, corner's going to take the out, and Chip's got to get over the top of number one. That's not fair to the safety. Let's watch what happens. He goes out, so now Chip has to scream over the top of one. First off, he's late a little bit. So he should be, number one's going to be standing wide open in the end zone. So blue is not a good call down here. I'm okay showing it in the scrimmage. If we were going to do a zone, there's better zones that we could do. Put this one on here just to learn a little bit. It's not terrible. I know I'm biased. I mean, bumped him a little bit, but yeah, they're going to call that 10 times out of 10. Man, this is a great example, though. So there's some good and some bad here. So I'm talking to Brim. This is a good example of how stepping off works. Because if you would have just, on snap the ball, Brim, just backpedaled 5 yards, there's no way that you would even have been in this play. So the fact that you're stepping off like that's really good. That's exactly why we do it. That being said, we can't chest him up. We can't. If our chest hits his back, then it's going to be a flag. We got to treat these guys like little porcelain dolls. Can't touch them at all before when the ball's in the air. Before the ball's in the air, we can be physical with them. We can jam them. We can catch them. Can't hold them, but we can reroute them. But once that ball's in the air, we cannot touch the receiver, and that goes for all of us. All right, boys, that concludes our 2019 teach tape off of the Gatorade scrimmage. A lot of good things. I'm feeling pretty good about our secondary and where we're at. We've got a couple more days to to work before game one, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you guys can continue to do and can continue to improve on. So let's get after it today.